very bad, of course. Playing at home, losing 3-0, no matter which team you face, is of course a very, very, very bad result.
There's only so much room you can go in there. Where are you meant to work? We are professional people at the end of the day, and the question is how many people are standing on the side. But you can't talk in front of your bench about the players who are out there. So it's ridiculous. Imagine they're all listening.
How bad, that's difficult to measure, but it was very bad, of course. Playing at home, losing 3-0, no matter which team you face, is of course a very, very, very bad result. Unexpected if you look at the first half hour of the game. In my opinion, a good start from us. Haven't seen us creating so much in half an hour, first half hour of a game, maybe throughout the whole season. I'm not sure because I don't remember every single game now, but we were able to create a lot. And the first time they arrived in our box, they scored a goal. And it's a very difficult cocktail to drink or to have. If you miss out on your own chances, and almost every time you concede one, the ball goes in.
Sam?
You've got a lot. You ended the game with two midfielders in defence. So you seem to be moved to Jones and at one point you had Jones and Graham.
Yeah.
It feels like you're having to adapt quite a lot to try and add attackers to keep your shape and players are out of position.
Yeah. Now we had to start the game with a midfielder and right fullback because both of our fullbacks are injured, and Joe Gomez is a player who can also play there, but hasn't trained the whole week. I don't think he was fully ready to start this game. And yeah, when you're 2-0 down, it's not really, in my opinion, really necessary to bring in a defender. And normally you prefer, at least that's what I always do, you prefer to bring in players that can score a goal. So yeah, after I took Ibu off, indeed we played with two midfielders in our last line. That's true, but we also needed goals. And that's why I brought Hugo in, Ikitike for Ibu, to bring a player in that can score a goal. And just before we conceded the 3-0, I went to a 3-3-4, but because I didn't feel after my first substitution we were able to create a lot. And we know, as you probably even better than me, but I'm here for 1.5 years now, and if you score a goal in this stadium, something can happen. So you need something. You need a goal, you need something to happen, and then after my first substitution with Hugo, I don't think we created a lot, so I thought with 2-0 down, let's take an extra risk, but that didn't work out really well because 2 seconds later we were 3-0 down. Lewis?
What did you make of the first goal, standing with Endoy in the offside position? Premier League say he wasn't in Alisson's side, but obviously there was the thing at the exterior.
Yeah. During the game, people told me that he was in an onside position. Sorry, so that's why I wasn't bothered at all. Now after the game, people tell me that was he in an offside position? Is that 100% sure or?
The Premier League say the refs calling goals checked, but he wasn't in the line.
Yeah. Does that implement that he then was offside, or because that's of course the big issue? Then I have to see it back because I heard immediately that he was onside. I didn't check what the line of vision then was. Now I haven't had time to see it back if he was in the line of vision. Yeah, I've seen us conceding 3 goals this season against Atletico 2 and against Frankfurt 1 that were more in the line of vision of the goalkeeper than the one we scored at City. But yeah, I think no one wants to hear from me now. Me talking about referee decision. If you lose 3-0 at Forest, then I should first of all look at myself and my team instead of that. But it does show you how a set piece or how a goal can change momentum and can change the game, because before we conceded the 1-0, I think I was just waiting for us to score a goal, and afterwards we hardly created any chance anymore.
Paul?
You said then you should look at yourself first. Do you worry that you might, do you think you can lead the team out of this slump of results? Because it's the same sort of things that are happening each week in terms of set piece goals, missing chances. And I know the players have to, it's down to players at the end of the day. But
No. It's my responsibility. If we win or lose, it's my responsibility. So, but what I also see is that the team, and by the way, our fans as well, stayed till the end, supported the team till the end, and the players keep on trying till the end. And what I also see today, and that wasn't at City, but at City, we were not the only team that struggles in the first half. But in every other game we've played, we've been the dominant team, and we were able to create chances. And like I said, lately it's almost constantly that we miss our chances and the ones go in that we concede, but that will never continue throughout the whole season. But we need to have that moment of energy of scoring a goal. If you are playing well and you go 1-0 up, then the other team feels like, we've played here half an hour now and we're 1-0 down and we hardly seen the ball. But the opposite thing happened. They got a big energy boost from scoring 1-0. So I see a lot of things where in a normal situation the result would have been different, but we are now in a difficult situation, and then you need to do even more to get your results in than when things go in your favor.
That's what I was saying. Do you doubt yourself at all at the moment, or does what you did last season give you and your career as a manager give you the confidence that there is a way out?
Yeah, of course there's a way out, especially with the quality players we are having. So I think no matter if you win or lose, if you make a lineup and if you make substitutions, and when you look back, you're always thinking about, where can we do better, where can we adjust? Or that's something else than doubting yourself. But I want to emphasize one more time on the fact that I'm responsible for the current losses. When you are responsible when you're winning, but you're also responsible when you are losing. And that's why I prefer, although you ask me that question, not to talk about referee decisions or other excuses. I can never come up with enough excuses for us to perform, to have the results we have. That is far from good enough, and I'm responsible for that.
Arne, you mentioned that you feel you create enough chances, but do you worry that the players are becoming, again, too nervous, too pressurised in front of goal? Because it seems when it's the first time in a long time Liverpool haven't scored in consecutive games, does that become like a compound problem?
I don't think so yet. I don't think so yet, but yeah, it's difficult for me to feel what they feel. But if I look at the way we finish these chances, I don't see a player that's lacking confidence or is hesitating. For example, the one with Maka, I think he hits it perfectly, but defended perfectly as well. So no, I don't think that's an issue, but yeah, it's difficult for me to judge because I'm not there in that moment. The only thing I can see is that we do create, and the finishing is as expected. But the blocks and the saves are also of quality.
Matt, last one.
I mentioned like the attempt to go to 3-3-4.
Yeah.
Could you explain the thinking behind that? Because sometimes teams go forwards on, but nobody's getting the ball progressive to them.
Sorry, last.
Then the players struggle to get the ball actually.
No, I don't think we struggled with that. I think we ended up a lot of times on our sides with Cody and with Mo, but we struggled to create a chance of that because they were defending with so many players in and around their box. So then if you've tried for 75 minutes with 4 defenders, 3 midfielders and 3 attackers, although the defenders were midfielders, but that comes from injuries, then the idea was, but again I'm responsible for that, to make an offensive substitution, which I did last season as well, took Ibo off, brought Diogo Jota in, and 1 minute later, away at Forest, I mean, we scored the 1-1. Then it was brave. Now it's probably stupid.
Thank you.
Sean, just be thrilled with that performance.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was just looking at a few familiar faces. I used to be up here quite a bit. You know, yeah, pleased for lots of reasons. Pleased for the players mainly. You know, I spoke openly when I first got here about the, you know, having 3 managers in short succession. You know, players trying to realign again. They've done very well with it. And I commend them on it because, you know, I said to them this week and I said to them again after the game, we can only guide you in the right direction. It's down to you to perform, and they have done, both on the training pitch, absorbing the information and delivering performances. And that's all we can ask them. And they're certainly, I think they're putting a lot into training, a lot into what we try and, what we're all collectively trying to do to achieve things. And I think that's a very solid marker against the top side today.
Sure, obviously, come here a number of times, you've won here with Burnley, but I mean, a 3-0 win at Anfield, put that into context, how big a win and how big a result is that?
Well, it's the strangest thing about football. Look, last year this football club used it as a catalyst and they carried on. We hope for that. But the strangest of, you know, because of my awareness of the division, because I've been in it a long time, it doesn't guarantee the next one. I've said it for many years now. Of course it's to be enjoyed. I do enjoy it, you know, people think I don't. I do. But it's for the fans and all that, and the players. But we've got to go again. You know, it's you look at the league, it's not solved. Everything's not solved. But what it is, it's a good, strong marker about this group and how they are willing and they're committed to the cause. Because the one thing I've learned about the Premier League, of course you need talent. You wouldn't be a Premier League player if you don't have talent. But what about the hard yards? What about the ugly side of the game? What about when your willingness and the desire as a collective group of people to stay focused on what the job is? And I thought that was excellent. You know, we changed the tactical style massively today. I said, we're not passing out, don't worry about that. People can question me about it. It's not, I don't bother, as you know. I said, we're going long because these are going to press the life out of you, which they tried to do early in the game. And I thought they delivered it. They accepted it. They delivered it. I know we've got players we can play. You know, if you saw the performances so far, I think we know we can mix our football and play good football, as people call it now. I like the one that wins personally, but anyways. And I thought we mixed it tactically today, but that's credit to the players. We can only say this all, if you're willing to deliver it, it's got a better chance of working, and it did today.
You've got to defend really well if you're going to get into there.
Absolutely. And I thought the early part, credit to Liverpool, I was a bit gutted that there was a 2-week break after the Man City game, so there was a lot of noise, a lot of questions. It kind of, you know, it calms and it settles. I warned the players. I said, these are, you know, they've proved what they can do here. They're winners. You know, they've won cups, leagues, you know, all sorts. So I said, you've got to remind yourself of that. So we need to be ready. And fair play to them. They started really strong. I thought we defended fantastically well in the early part of the game, and then we sort of just managed to get a foothold of sorts. I don't mean by keeping the ball, but just that feel of the game starts changing. You could sense it in the atmosphere of the stadium. And then we score a goal, obviously. And then really, I thought our shape and the basics were really good after that. And we still had enough in our locker to cause trouble on the break. And that's a different way of winning, but it's still a way of winning. You know, and I said to him, another thing I've spoken endlessly to him is, you know, how do you win football matches without the ball? Because that's an important factor over a Premier League season. It's very difficult, you know, unless you're the superpowers, it's very difficult to dominate the ball in every game you play. So what about winning the games when you're not playing maybe as well, or you haven't got the ball? How do we do that? So I'm super pleased for these players, because I do believe there's some real talent here, some really talented footballers. But what about the day when we have to change things? And they've accepted that, and they've delivered it very, very well today.
Sean, there were lots of good performances today, but Murillo in particular seemed to personify everything that the team was about. What did you make of him?
I thought Mats and the two centre-halves were excellent. Nico Williams again. Sav's learning. I thought second half he played very well, learning from the first half, you know, as a unit. Yeah, Murillo's doing very well. He's accepting of the work. He's you know, he's still young, you know. I thought aerially he was very strong on set pieces, which is certainly something we need from our centre-halves. There's been a lot made of corners, particularly. But no, he's all-round game, and he'll get fitter and stronger. And sorry, my kind of fit. I don't mean that in any way, shape or form, other than the way I work and my habits and what I want to do. And I think he's applied himself very well, and he continues to do so. All of them have. You know, I must make that clear. All of them have accepted what we're doing, even the hard yards, because they've certainly put some hard work in, and they've accepted it.
Did you do anything different to prepare them for this game, with it being such a big game?
They worked very hard on Tuesday because I think we've still got to get them how I like them physically. They worked very hard. We brought it down Thursday, Friday. We deloaded the tactical information because sometimes you do. Sometimes you have a trust in the group. Kept it very basic. I often prefer to when we're playing big games is keep it very, very simple from terms of standard. The simple basics will never go out of fashion for me, and they've delivered it very well today.
What did you make of the goal that was ruled out?
I'm surprised that, I'm a long way from it at the point of action, but when I saw it back, I'm very surprised. I don't know who's, we'll ask for an explanation. I don't know who's seen what, but I was very surprised. I was equally surprised, I've got to be honest, I'm going to have a gripe. My assistant gets booked in a technical area that's only big enough for us to work. How do you work? This rule now, you're not allowed to have people on the side. I said before the game, I text Howard, I've told Simon Morgan of the Premier League, because I'm fed up with it. I said, this certain grounds, because we had it at Goodison, not the new Goodison, obviously, there's only so much room you can go in there. Where are you meant to work? We are professional people at the end of the day, and the question is how many people are standing on the side. Well, you can't talk in front of your bench about the players who are out there. It's just ridiculous, and they're all listening. So where are you meant to go and do your work? We're working. So I can't understand all that. It's a load of nonsense for me, that. Just let us work. So you get people booked and all that for nothing. You go, oh, God, just let's get on with what we're doing. Surely fans are not worried whether two coaches stand on the sidelines chatting about some players. Surely they're not that worried. Goodness me, come on.
At 1-0 and certainly at 2-0, were you ever sort of concerned that Liverpool were building up ahead of steam, that were going to come back into the games? It didn't feel like that. It felt like your shape and your
Yeah. No, I know you mean. From years of doing it, I think it feels different. When I was a younger coach, I would have probably thought, oh, this could change at any second. But your gut instinct sometimes is correct. And I thought the way that the team, by the way, were handling their performance got stronger as the game went on. And of course, goals, I've said it many times, not just the scoreline, it builds a different feeling in the performance. But they can hurt you, these teams. I've played in other games, I have. Some of you have seen what I do and the teams I work with. Well, you think you've got them and the game gets away from you. So you can't guarantee it, but my feeling was we gave a really good performance tactically to make sure that they didn't really get too much in the way of real threat. I thought Mats did the basics very, very well today when he had to. And the centre-halves particularly, I thought were outstanding today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.